Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, it's just past 12. So welcome to this live broadcast. I'll be speaking about the Z-Innovates BootCamp that we have just launched here at Z-Study. So the Z-Innovates BootCamp has come as a result of many requests that we have been, getting with the requests that we have been getting in regards to people asking, how can I learn how to do these things that you do? Did you learn these things in Zambia? Did you take a specific course? Is there any pointers that you can give me so that I can get started with this, and stuff like that? But one key important thing that I have learned, particularly myself in my entrepreneurship journey, is that we keep teaching people some of these things that we do, so that in the process they may also learn how to do this, because that's how we bring about development in the country, like that. So I am going to go through details to go and try and introduce the Z-Innovates BootCamp, what it will be about, what are the benefits that will be there that you can get by attending the Z-Innovates BootCamp. And then I'll also go into details just to try and get some feedback from those who would be able to watch this live broadcast, as well as after the live broadcast comes to an end, so that maybe I could be able to provide some quick feedback with my team on how this should be handled. So welcome. Please, if you come across this live broadcast or just this post, if it is if you come across it when we have finished broadcasting it live, please do share. Please do share so that others can also see and probably benefit from this initiative that we are just bringing. So basically, what would be Z-Innovates? So basically, Z-Innovates is a term coined to try and encourage the Zambian youth to be innovative. So that's what Z-Innovates is about. It's a term that is coined to try and encourage the Zambian youth to be innovative in the way they do their businesses, in the way they do, they collect their skill set and how they apply them. So Z-Innovate simply means Zambia is now innovating. So this particular bootcamp is going to focus more on technological-based skills that would allow someone to be able to build functional, usable, and sellable softwares. Right? So functional, usable, and sellable softwares. So these are some of the things that you learn if you attend this particular bootcamp. So how are you going to learn this? We are going to create a public project that probably solves a generic problem in the Zambian case. So this particular project will be hosted on a public GitHub repository, and all the resources that will actually come out of these consecutive trainings that will happen in this particular bootcamp would be hosted on that particular GitHub. So this repo, or this GitHub repository, which will be holding different resources from articles, documentation, source code, design files, all of that will sit on this particular public repository, and it will basically be an open source project. So it will be an open source project that someone who is just starting can start from there, and probably clone this repository and make some changes that they can make from it, and then they start building from there. That's one thing. The other thing is that Albertina Kavanda. Good morning. I think it's afternoon now. Good afternoon. Thank you. So this public repository that we create as an initiative under Z Study, which we are calling the Z-Innovates BootCamp. Nice. It's good to know that Karulushi is glued to our live broadcast. So this particular public repository that you create would allow someone to be able to contribute to it. It will not be owned by anybody. That's why it will be public. It will be an open source project, which will be born out of the Z-Innovates. But the focus of this would be learning. Okay, the focus of this would be learning. All right. Now, please, Carol, please, Albertina, share the live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please do share the live stream so that others can actually benefit from this information that I'm just, divulging into just now. So this public repository that you create would allow young graduates to learn from it, because it will be more consistent to how you can start a project from so yeah, it will actually allow young graduates to be able to learn from this as a starting learning point, and take it up from there so that they can be able to actually apply that snippets of knowledge they got in the university and be able to pick up and start building projects in real life like that. So in this particular bootcamp, we will cover quite a number of things. Okay, we'll cover quite a number of things. It will be I thought it would just be me in the office and it being a Saturday, but still getting a bit busy, but yeah, I'm with you. So we just take our time to understand what we will actually be achieving in this particular boot camp. So in this particular boot camp, we are going to be building real life or real world applications that if you just attend, you learn, you're able to build something. Okay, so it will not be much of theory based. It will be more of kind of a how to process. Okay, so we'll cover for those who might not really have much of the experience or might not have been, probably coding or doing things like that in the past, but it will also cater for them as well, because we start at a very basic level and then we rise like that. So most of these are cohort for this particular bootcamp would be running for a month, all right? We'll be running for 1 month. Which people do expect to come and attend this cohort? These are people who may not know anything to people who fully know something, because every cohort will have a focus. So this cohort might be focusing on UI UX. This cohort might be focusing on electronic design and development. This cohort might be focusing on software development, like that. But then after someone graduates from that particular cohort, they still continue following our online engagements that will be happening through our, spaces online, engagements that will in our Z-Study, Z-Innovates BootCamp, WhatsApp spaces, and on our Twitter space. They'll continue following, and be having every month we'll be having a webinar trying to just update where we are with this grand project, what new things are we going to be building, and things like that. So it will really be quite an interesting journey, and I think the initiative would really be good. So I'm looking at creating impact in the Zambian youths, so that we can be able to be the youths that create, so that we start depending much on ourselves than simply complaining of what probably the government is doing. We should be able to do these things by ourselves, and in a long run. Erico Vicky, nice. Thank you. It's good to know that Kenya is glued. All right, it's good to know that Kenya is following. Nice to know. So we'll be able to create impact in the Zambian and African youths, so that some of these skills that you'll be transferring through these boot camps would be quite life-changing. It would be skill sets that would make you, job ready. It will be a skill that you try to allow you maybe to start your own enterprise and focus on making certain things like that. So I'll be at the heart of training for these particular boot camps, and you definitely benefit from these particular boot camps, from the wealth of knowledge that I've acquired in the past, trying to build different products, trying to bring different products to market, and of which some of these were trial and error until the point where now we can be able to build products with clear minds. But then I would not love to have you all go through the same struggles that I went through. So I would want to make it a bit easier for some of you. So these boot camps will be definitely focusing on issues to do with these which I've just outlined. But then just in a bit, I'll go in details just to showcase what exactly we'll be learning in these boot camps. Okay, what exactly? So should you attend, what do you expect you're going to learn? Okay, in an instance you decided to attend these boot camps, what do you expect you're going to benefit from these particular boot camps? What are you going to benefit from it? So that's what I want to go in details to try and explain on what you stand to benefit from these boot camps that we will be having in form of cohorts that will be running from August, and to be running, I think it's starting, the first cohort is starting on the 23rd of August 2024, and it will keep going on up until 23rd September, and then you have another cohort. So if someone, for instance, says that I did not probably understand as much in the cohort that I had attended, I would probably want to continue. That is also something that is acceptable, where you could attend 2, 3, 4 cohorts, and this cohort will be focusing on, you know, these selected topics that you'll be diving into, and that will just give you much access to much skills that will be shared in all these different cohorts. So in these Z-Innovates or Z-Innovates bootcamps that we'll be having, we'll be looking at UI UX. How do you design user experience, user interface designs that allows you to build applications or websites or web applications or systems or hardware devices that speaks to the experiences of the users that you're targeting, all right? So how do you do that? What is the psychology of the products that you're building? How should the users be able to interact with them? And things, how do you make those decisions? Are your decisions based on the business logic, or are your decisions based on, you know, the user experiences or the psychological of product use or things like that? So in our bootcamps, we'll be focusing on training you to know how to design user experiences and user interfaces when you think of building a product like that. So our Z-Innovates bootcamps will not be business-centric, but these are bootcamps that will be technical-centric. So they'll be tech-centric bootcamps that will be focusing on much of tech skills that will allow you to understand how these things work. But then you might be a startup founder somewhere, you have hired an offshore team that are building a product. Attending bootcamps like this will give you an idea of how these products are built and how you can actually be able to comment on certain feedbacks that you are getting from the team that you have hired to build products for you. So that's number one, things that you'll be focusing on. Number two, we'll be focusing on a short intensive course that you run for 1 month that you are calling the Electronics Design Practitioner Level 1, the Electronics Design Practitioner Level 1. And I'll tell you this, if you are a tech startup, you're building a mobile application, you're building a website, you're building a web app, and all sorts of innovation that you're coming up with, here is something that you need to know. Attaching a hardware innovation to your whatever products that you're offering creates an opportunity for you to protect the market. It becomes a key differentiator in the market. So this one, I'm speaking to those who are startup founders, or those people who are running businesses, or those people who are, you know, more of business centric and you are innovating with software. Being able to come up with an hardware innovation that you attach to your software creates a market differentiator. Okay? There are many ways you can do this, but this is a competitive advantage that you bring to your business. Facebook has some hardware attached to their business. Okay, they have their own servers, they have their own. This time around, you have seen they are now bringing in goggles and all those stuff. Key differentiator. Okay, Google, all these companies that have grown to become quite big, they have a hardware component in their innovation that provides many competitive advantages. For instance, if you are using an Apple phone, you would not only use that hardware, but they have got a number of softwares that they're offering on the market that you use on their hardware, such as Apple Music, iCloud, and many other things that you use, okay, on their hardware. So it creates about it creates about market differentiations. It creates about competitive advantages in the way you're doing your innovative business by building these either mobile applications or web applications or websites, whatever business that you're doing, attaching a hardware to it brings about competitive advantage. So we'll be focusing on a very short, intensive course. We are calling it Electronics Designer Practitioner Level 1. Electronics Design Practitioner Level 1. So that's what we are calling this course. What are you going to learn in that particular course? So what you're going to learn is to build something like this, right? So here at Z Study, we build these, right? We are the only startup company in Zambia that can boast of, building hardware like this, okay, and many other hardware. This applies in education, and it's the simplest one. So what you're going to learn in that design practitioner course through that the bootcamp that we are advertising, the bootcamp we are calling the Z-Innovates BootCamp, you are going to learn this. So from nothing, so you just walk in and we come up with an idea to say, hey, let's build a device that does the following in 1 month. At the end of the day, we even have it like this one, right? So we'll design, right? We finish designing, we manufacture together. So when we manufacture it together like this, that will change completely the way you look at technology innovation. It will completely, you wire your mindset on what you can do and what you can't do. It will completely change the way you look at things, right? It will completely change the way you have, looked at what Zambians can do. It will completely change many things about yourself and the way you approach your life. So in our design practitioner level 1 course, which is a course that we're going to offer for 1 month, and you need to commit about 6 hours in a week. You need to commit about six hours in a week. So now this 6 hours in a week, 3 hours will be physical intensive training, and I'll lead those trainings myself. I'll be teaching you from experiences. I'll not be teaching you from the theories or the books that I've read or things like. I'll be teaching you from experiences, the things that have failed, how you can do better, and things like that. Okay, so I built this with my team at Z Study, of course. I built this, okay, here in Zambia, this, okay. So what I'll teach you is how can you build this? How can you build something like this? So you might be an engineer, a practicing engineer for that matter, working, but you are interested to know how some of these products are built. You're welcome to attend our bootcamps. These bootcamps will be oftentimes starting maybe at 16, 17, when you have actually knocked off from your work and your busy schedules like that. So, and then after that, you will be able to attend, our sessions. But not only that, because Z-Study as means of distributing educational tools, technologies, or educational trainings. Every lesson that we teach will be fully recorded and uploaded on the Z-Study application. So you can also download the Z-Study application and learn from there, all right? You can also download the Z-Study application and learn from there. So that's another thing, but not only that, these trainings will also be live on Google Meet, all right? They'll be live on Google Meet. So what it will mean is that we will be able to live stream these trainings on Google Meet. So what will happen is that you can just log in on Google Meet and you'll be able to learn as we are doing our trainings. Now, these trainings will be premium content that will be provided. These trainings will be premium content that will be provided, all right? These trainings will be premium content that will be provided. Now, in that sense, you'll be learning information that allows you to create, okay? Not just for knowledge acquisition, but you'll be learning information that allows you to innovate, to design, and to create, all right? We'll be doing these trainings in partnership with Service Labs, okay? So your focus or the outcome, the objective, the mission is to transfer skills to youths who want to learn these things, and at the end of it all, you'll be able to make something. So we'll be able, if we want, we would say we want to recreate this particular STEM kit that you have to say, in this particular cohort, we'll learn how you can recreate this. And we'll start from nothing, okay? Basic physics, basic electronics, and then we design. Our focus is to make something, design something. Our focus will be innovate, design, and create. 3, innovate, design, create. 3. That will be our focus in this Z-Innovates BootCamp. Okay? Z-Innovates BootCamp. We want to create a mark in the Zambian youths so that we should be able to see in the next 1-2 years from now, we should be able to see flooded electronic devices made by Zambian on the Zambian market. That's what we want to see. We want to see a flood of these things like this, because if we hold on to this information alone, we are depriving Zambia on how many innovators, how many people can go out there and create these things. So what you're saying is that we want to pass on this information to the youths in Zambia, right? To the youths in Zambia, how you can create something properly, how you can innovate, how you can design, how you can create. Then after that, we'll move to the next stage. Now that you have designed, you have innovated, you have created, what next? Manufacturability. How do you manufacture something like this, right? How do you go ahead and manufacture it? What are the business concerns? What is the business logic? Okay, what kind of products would you want to build to sell? Okay, how can you go ahead and launch a hardware product? Most of the tech companies in Zambia focuses on software, if not all of them, except only us here, right? And the challenge is because building hardware is quite complex and very expensive. Expensive in the matter that you have to find a company that's going to build this for you, and the prices just to build these are astronomical. We are talking about thousands of dollars, if not hundreds, you know. So now that's information that we want to pass on to the youth. Now, how are we going to do this? We are going to learn basic physics, basic electronics. Then from there, we learn how do we innovate, how do we design, then how do we create. Now, after we do that, we start building communities of makers just in Zambia, all right? The funny thing that I would want to mention on this particular video is that the assembly of these particular kit that I'm holding in my hands partly was done by the guys just in town, in Katondo Street town, like that. So our idea is to try and see how we can, those guys who repair phones, those guys who repair your TVs, these young graduates from universities, how can we give them practical knowledge? How can we give them practical knowledge that can change their lives? How can we do that? Okay, how can we give them practical knowledge that would allow them to be able to create this? Now, when we start creating things like this, you see, we'll make a Zambian phone in 2-3 years, 4 or 5 years from now, we'll have a Zambian made phone. Okay. We'll see that we'll start making our own radios. Okay. These 5-band radios that we use to listen to Radio 4 Phoenix, you know, ZNBC, Radio Ichengelo, and all that. We'll start making those. In the long run, we realize that we start making our own TVs, we start making our own lamps, we start making our own, you know, we'll start creating. So that is what Z-Innovates BootCamp is about. So for every well-meaning Zambian out there, this is some kind of initiative that you need to support. We want to take those, you know, young graduates from universities and give them a skill that they can be able to benefit from, a skill that will allow them to design, a skill that will put them in a position to innovate, a skill that will allow them to create. That's what we are about. That is our objective. That's a grand objective with the Z-Innovates BootCamp. Now, after we finish this, what do we want to focus on? Coding. That will be the next thing. Programming. Because designing an electronic product like this is not what there is only. You would probably need to be able to program it, all right? To be able to program it. Imagine, just imagine your son in the back of, in your garage at your home or in his bedroom. They are making things. Imagine the pride that would come out of that. Imagine the pride that if we want to supply this to the entire SADC region in Zambia, imagine the pride that would come out of that, right? So this is not just about Z-Study alone. This is not just about me. This is not just about the Z-Innovates BootCamp. This is about the pride of the nation, how our society will be viewed by the surrounding people. We start flooding these in Congo DR. We start flooding these in Malawi. We start flooding this in Zimbabwe. We start, you know, exporting this in Kenya. We start exporting this in Botswana, in Namibia, and countries around. We can only achieve that if many youths become innovative and they acquire skills like this so that they become makers. That's what we want. We want to start forming, you know, cooperative or cooperatives of makers. But then we can only do that if we acquire the knowledge, right? We can only do that if we acquire the knowledge. That's only when we can be able to do things like this. So I'll teach. I'm looking at a target of teaching, talk about 10,000 youths with Z-Innovates BootCamp, with cohorts running monthly like that, or with, you know, the feedback and the monitoring and evaluation to see how it will be turning out. You can even increase it to 3 months per cohort. So that we are having 3-4 cohorts in a year like that. So these skills are skills that we want to be able to pass on. Now, to make it easier on how you can be able to do this, I have written a book, all right? I have written a book. So I'm the trainers of this particular, you know, thing in Z-Innovates. These are not just people who have just read things in the book and they just want to pass it on to you. No, these are people who have designed. These are people who have innovated products. You know, we have developed products here that are being used in American space. You know, we have exported, you know, knowledge to the United States of America like that. We have products that we are working with our partners in the USA. So it's a team of experts that will be teaching these skills to youth so that they can be able to benefit from that. So you'll also have an opportunity to grab a copy of this book that I've just written. So this book would help now to program hardware or electronic devices that people would have developed. Now, in our design process, we'll teach the design process thinking on how you design products, what should be in the mind, where should you focus on. So we not only be passing technical information to these particular members or youths that will be attending our Z-Innovates cohorts, but we'll also be providing psychological, nuances that will allow them to understand as they are designing, as they are innovating, as they are creating these products that we're talking about, what they should focus on. All right. I always tell my team around here that when you're designing or when you're innovating something, make it rough, take it to the market. When people start paying for it, you can now come back and perfect it. So even as I'll be training these youths with these skills that I've acquired over the years, these are some of the things that you also be focusing on, right? Put up your design quickly, take it to the market, see what people says, and come and finish. Okay, that's what we want to look at. Don't over, perfect. So those are some of those things that you'll be learning. Now, back to coding. We will be able to teach these people on how to build these devices that most of the engineers in Zambia just say, wow, bazongoni bakari, and things like that. When they look at a product, they say, wow, bazongoni bakari, things like that. We want to be able to build products like that by ourselves here and program them. Now, in the coding session, we'll be looking at basic programming, okay? Using this book, it will allow someone to learn coding and the nuances of coding. In a month, you are good to go. You can write functional programs that can do something. What will remain is just someone to take it up, perfect it, and be able to achieve something with that. Very practical book, and as you can see, it comes with the hardware that I developed myself. So it means that this book is very practical. As you are reading it, you have this particular hardware where you're going to test those codes that you are studying in this, the codes you're investigating in here, all right? So it's guaranteed that most of those people that will be attending our Z-Innovates bootcamps for coding, they are guaranteed for success, because this is not just mere coding. This is coding focused on building functional, usable, sellable products on the market. Okay, functional, usable, sellable products that will be building through this coding. So yes, you have developed this hardware, now program it. So we need to teach you how to be a firmware developer, an embedded developer. How do you build code that runs on microprocessors, code that runs on microcontrollers? How do you build code like that? It's totally different from writing HTML basics, CSS, and things like that. That's totally different, all right? So I have in the past developed codes that run on products that are being used in the USA. I have in the past developed products that I have code that I wrote running in products being used here in Zambia, in schools, in companies, So you'll be riding on that experience that I have amassed in the past as you come to attend these cohorts. Now, just to reinforce the learning, you'll have the book, as I'll be training you. You'll have the hardware that I developed as I'm training you, okay? Additionally, we'll have that GitHub repository that I spoke about for open source projects that you'll be developing in Zambia for the purposes of skills transfer, for the purposes of, having somewhere where most of these university graduates would start from. So it will be quite intensive, quite practical, and fundamentally changing for your skill sets. So the Z-Innovates bootcamp is here to give you skills, whether you are a business owner of a tech startup business or an SME focusing on issues to do with technology, or you might be a policymaker who just want to understand how some of these things are done. It might be a young child that you have who just finished their grade 12. You want to prepare them, maybe their interest is in tech. Or you might be a young graduate who just left the University of Zambia or left the Copyright University or these universities around the country. You are waiting probably to enter the job market. You want to, get to be more practical, build something that you can use on your resume as you go to look for jobs. This Z-Innovates BootCamp is your thing, right? So the Z-Innovates BootCamp would be running physically at our main offices, Z-Study. It will also be on the Z-Study application, so you can also learn, on our Z-Study application. Not only that, every day it will be live on our Google Meet, all right? So that as we are teaching, for those who may not probably be able to be physically at our location, can also be able to attend through our Zoom, and they'll be recorded and deposited on our Z-Study application, where you can go there to do your streaming. Not only that, with our GitHub repo, the open source repo that will be created, okay? So if you, right now you go on GitHub, you search for Z-Study, you'll see we already have some open source projects going on that, if your child buys this, they can be able to use, or yourself, you buy this, you want to use it for, learning how to, code, learning how to interact with electronics. We have our repo sitting there. Now we want to have many repositories sitting there as open source projects that emanate from Zambia, that our university students would go to our repository there and learn something as they're building their university projects, all right? So we want to create a different narrative in our society in terms of what can we do, right? Because most of you, when I interact with you, when you see something like this, it amazes you because all you think is Bazungu ni Vakali, that's what you think. But to tell you that I made this here in Zambia, I designed it just from a simple idea. Now, this is what I want to pass on to multiple youths, multiple people, 10,000, 20,000 youths trained to build things like this in Zambia in a more practical way. Design from nothing, innovate, design, and create. So that by the time you're finishing that cohort, you'll have a functional, usable, and sellable product, all right? You have functional, usable, and sellable product in form of skill sets that you grab, that you acquire from attending this bootcamp. Z-Innovates is definitely destined to be a top-tier bootcamp in the country for tech skills transfer, in the country, because it will not be trained based on books that someone has read from somewhere. The trainers like myself are people who have built and put products on the market, such as the one I'm holding. Imagine someone is teaching you electronics and he has developed something like this. That class should be quite interesting. I believe so. I believe so. Imagine if you go to a university where your lecturer has built something that you're using even to learn from. The learning will not just be about the book and how you can solve and balance an equation and how you can better memorize something. It will be about experiences, the mistakes that you shouldn't do based on their experiences. And definitely, that's what the Z-Innovates BootCamp will be about. It will be about sharing experiences. It will be about the failures that we have experienced with their colleagues in the past. That's what this will be about. It will be about learning how to build products. It's about how you transform that basic equation that you learn in mathematics or that basic equation that you learn in physics, linking that to real life application on how you can build functional products, such as these particular products that I'm just holding here. I bought this, and I've just realized that if I can be able to share that knowledge and other people can be able to build. If I can train 20,000 youths in Zambia, I'm guaranteed that 2, 3, 4 years from now, I'll see a phone made in Zambia. I'm guaranteed that 2, 3, 4 years from now, I'll see an influx of export of electronic products from Zambia. I'm guaranteed that this will be an alternative hub for countries like the USA to be making their products here. We got to start from somewhere. We have to start from somewhere. And this is the somewhere. Practical, proven, and tested. That's it. It will be about sharing experiences of what we have felt in the past. It will be about sharing experiences of the successes that we have amassed. That's what the Z-Innovates BootCamp is about. Talk about it in your circles. Let's make this a main conversation. Because imagine a Zambia where we have 20,000 youths with knowledge of making things like this. What can we be? Sometimes we can just make change amongst ourselves. That's it. We don't even have to try what the government this, what the government that, because trust me, we are building this, living in the same community, living in the same, being ruled by the same government and all that. So sometimes we just need to step a little bit back, stop complaining, and then just say, what can we do amongst ourselves? And I have a proposal. This is something that we can do among ourselves. This is something we can do. So, what else are we going to learn in this Z-Innovates BootCamp? Okay? Like I said at first, this will be tech-centric. It will be tech-centric BootCamp. It will not be a business-based BootCamp. It will be tech-centric. It will be focusing on technology, right? To be focusing on technology. That's what it will be focusing on. That's what we'll be focusing on. We'll be focusing on technology. We'll be focusing on technology. So our bootcamp will not be about, this is what the theory does, what. Our bootcamp will not be about, how you can start a startup, how you can, that's not it, okay? Our bootcamp will be about skills, transferring practical, usable, sellable skills. That's what it will be about. It will be about transferring practical skills that you can see what we are doing and you do. Number one. Number two, it will be about skills that you can sell. Okay? So how do you sell skills? You acquire practical skills that somebody can hire you to do something for them. Number three, it will be about usable skills. All right? These are skills that you can be able to use. All right? Somebody will come to you, hey, I want to start a business that makes touch, touches, Can you design a nice, energy efficient, very bright touch so that I can start that line of business? Simple. You design based on the knowledge you acquire as you build things like this. You'll be able to say, hey, yes, I have those skills. I can be able to design a touch for you. All right, and then you'll be able to do that. And those are what we are calling sellable, usable, and practical skills. So Z-Innovates BootCamp will be running until we train at least 20,000 youths in Zambia. That's our main target. Because like I've emphasized, and it cannot be overemphasized, that when we have 20,000 youths with this knowledge that enslaves them to design, knowledge that enslaves them to innovate, knowledge that enslaves them to create, definitely we'll have a nation of makers, manufacturers, exporters. That's what we need to have. That's what we need to have. That's where the solution for our economical woes lies. That's where the solution for all the problems that we are facing lies. Because in order for you to make money, you have to sell something. You have to create some value that somebody wants to be able to exchange for some money. Now, as a country, as the youths of Zambia, if we are able to acquire practical skills like this, it will become easier for us to have something that we want to offer in SADC. We'll have something that we want to offer to our neighbors. We'll have something that we can export to the USA and exchange for the dollar. We'll have something that we can export to African countries, and we are guaranteed of having billionaires born out of this our small country, Zambia, in the long run, right? So Z-Innovates BootCamp is here. Our first cohort is taking off on the 23rd of August, 2024. Today is 17th, 5 days to go. We are taking off with our first cohort. So this live is meant to describe, to explain, to shed some more light on what the Z-Innovates BootCamp is all about. I know there are many bootcamps in the country, all right? If you search around, you hear there's a bootcamp here, there's a bootcamp there, but this is a top-tier bootcamp with premium content of skills that you'll be offering, evident by some of the products that we have developed with the most instructors that you encounter, you will encounter in these bootcamps. In this Z-Innovates BootCamp, very practical. We have Z Study application out there on Play Store, on Apple Store. So if we are teaching you how to build an application, we have done it before. We have STEM kits, the only STEM kits made in Zambia, designed in Zambia, by Zambians, for Zambians, with Zambian mindset as we are building this. The only. That's an evident enough to show what we'll offer in those Z-Innovates BootCamp. Not only that, we have developed the Z-Study web. Go to web.zstudy.co, web.zstudy.co. It will show you that what we are teaching you are things that you have done before. Not only that, we have developed a smart home, smart water device called Water Handler. Okay, with our colleagues from the United States of America, ourselves here in Zambia, these skills that we'll be teaching you are based on practical information. It's based on the skills that we have amassed in the past. So yes, there are many bootcamps around. Yes, there are many bootcamps in Lusaka. Yes, there are many bootcamps in Zambia. Z-Innovates BootCamp is about practical experiences. It's about trainers that have built products that are being used in their hands, premium products that are being used in the hands of people. So if you send your child here, you are guaranteed that they'll come back with useful knowledge, practical skills that will allow them to be makers. If you have noticed that your child or your nieces or people that you take care of or your siblings have interest in technology, Z-Innovates BootCamp is a spark ignition point for them to kickstart, to awaken that genius in them here at the Z-Study main offices, all right? So we'll be transferring knowledge of things that you have done in the past. Water handling, go to Apple Store. If you're using an Apple phone, type Water Handler. It's a smart application, third-tier application that does not only interact with the saver, it goes beyond to interact with the device. Talk about IoT, Internet of Things, connecting devices to the internet. We can be able to build, to teach, to transfer that knowledge, to transfer those skills to your kids, they can be able to build solutions that connect a shoe to the internet, a shoe to the internet, right? They can come up with solutions that you would have never imagined before. Or what is standing in between that, Z-Innovates BootCamp. Attending the Z-Innovates BootCamp cohort would definitely change the mindset of most youths in Zambia. The Z-Innovates BootCamp, of course, will not be free. They will definitely need to pay something, because the knowledge they will acquire from there will be life-changing. It will be forever remarkable in their lives. We are actively seeking for partners to work with so that this particular bootcamp becomes quite cheaper. Okay, we are looking for cooperating partners. We are looking for people who can sponsor people to come and attend these. People who can sponsor, aspects of this bootcamp. People who want to be part of this. The cake is too big for everybody to share. Imagine we are talking about training 20,000 youths, okay, in coding, to be able to code an application, usable application like Z-Study, to be able to code or program usable applications like Water Handler, to be able to code, usable web applications like Z-Study web applications, right? To be able to build hardware products like this, and many other, plenty that we have done. We'll give them a tour when they come to our offices to show them some of the things that we have done as a motivating factor for them. So Z-Innovates is here. Z-Innovates is here to change the narrative of the Zambian country so that we become makers and creators, not only importing things from China, not only importing things from the West, but to be able to make products like these, right? So if you attend our Z-Innovates bootcamp, which is starting on the 23rd, okay, 23rd of August, 2024, you'll be able to make something like this, because this bootcamp will allow you to acquire knowledge on how to build things like this, okay? You stop saying Muzungu ni mukali. You will never say that again, because at least your mindset will be wired differently after attending our bootcamp. The Z-Innovates bootcamp is a top-tier bootcamp, slated to be a top-tier bootcamp in this country. We are looking at a target objective of training about 20,000 youths in making things like this. Imagine you acquire skills, you acquire knowledge to be able to make something like this. That's remarkable. That's profound. That's definitely great. It will definitely change the way we live. Because I'm guaranteed, if we can train 20,000 youths in Zambia to learn how to do this, not only to graduate with a university degree, no, to acquire skills, to build things like this. Things like this here in Zambia, this. Then you are guaranteed that you see a Zambian phone on the market very soon. You are guaranteed that now our ministers will be officiating on big, takeoff of big innovations done by Zambians here. You are guaranteed that one day you walk down the market and go and buy a ZTV, a TV from Zambia, TV made in Zambia. You are guaranteed, because at the fundamental of all innovation is skills, it's knowledge. If you acquire the knowledge to do something, it becomes quite easy. That is a difference between a Chinaman. That's a difference between a Muzungu, is because they have the knowledge, they have the skills, And they have the history that actually support them to say, yes, people who came before us made this, we can also make it, all right? And that's a narrative that I've made it my business to paydo in Zambia so that we could be able to achieve something like this. So Z-Innovates is made, yeah, it's an initiative that has been made to try and promote skills transfer, tech skills transfer. And we are targeting to train about 20,000 youths in the next 3 years. And we are taking off on the 23rd August, 2024 with our first cohort, which will run from 23rd August to 23rd September. We are also saying you can be part of this in any way possible that you think you can be part of it by simply promoting it. Are you running a marketing agency? Are you running a TV station? Are you running a radio station? You can be part of this. Simply promote. Are you having a good following on Facebook? Reach out. Let's promote this. This is Zambia. This is what's going to change the narrative. This is what's going to make us great. If we train 20,000 youths, Zambian youths, with these skills, we are guaranteed that we are going to have a Zambian community, a Zambian hub of makers. The challenge that has been there in the past with most of boot camps that have been there, the focus has been just on making money. That's where the problem has been. Most of these business hubs that has been there, the problem has been on just making money. The real impact has not been there. With the Z-Innovates, we want to create impact. We want to be able to walk down the market, to be able to find the Zambian products made by the people we trained with these skills. Because we are very practical, because we believe in creating skills that are usable, we believe in creating skills that are sellable, evident by the products that you have made. Not only this one, many of them. We have the Z-Study app, we have the Z-Study web app, we have Osense, we have water handler. These are products that are being used in the hands of people that we have created. It's a time to transfer these skills so that many others can start doing the same. It's not about being the only one making this, it's about the impact that you're creating. Because if I hold on to these skills without sharing with others, it will be like old Zambian parents, the tales of the Zambian families, where one person gets educated, go to live alone, and the family remains poor like that forever. Now, in this case, holding on to skills like this, there's no university that's teaching this in Zambia now, where you can go and acquire. And even if you went to study from abroad, universities don't focus on things like this. They will give you broad fundamentals that will allow you to think and create and making it easier for you. Skills transfer. Walk in our offices, attend our boot camps. After 1 month, you're able to create this product I'm holding in my hands. You're able to create this. There's value for money. There's value for your money, definitely. Not only that, we are creating a Zambian society of youths who are makers. We want to create a mindset of 20,000, trained, equipped youths with technical skills that will allow them to transform our country. It's quite embarrassing. We have targets in Zambia. The technology that is there is imported. You go to the hospital, technology there is imported. You go to the bank, technology there is imported. Can't we do something ourselves? I want, in the times when I'll be 70, I should be using a phone that I could walk down the market, buy a Zambian-made phone. I should buy a TV made in Zambia, not just repairing. No, okay? Made in Zambia. I should walk down the country, buy a lithium-ion battery made in Zambia. Okay? Things like that. That's my aspiration. Those are things that troubles me when I go to bed. Money is consequential. If we are going to make money out of this, it's simply consequential, okay? The driving factor is to change the narrative of our country. Now, we have been operating in the shadows for the past 4 years. We have been innovating. We have created a number of products that some of them we use them on the market, okay? We are an example of technological commercialization, right? We are not only in the Zambian market, we are also in the United States market. If you go to Texas, you find our products there being used, that we have manufactured, that we have created, that we have designed, that we have innovated here, right here in Zambia. Now it's a moment where we come out, we reintroduce ourselves properly, and this Z-Innovates is one of the ways that we're doing that. To be able to create an impact in the community, to be able to transfer readily usable, in-demand skills for the Zambian youth, right? We have been seeing mediocre on social media for a long time, but it's time that we flood our social media with useful things, and let's start the movement. And the movement starts now with you who is watching this and with me. You can contribute to what Zambia would be in the next 30, 40 years from now. You might not be a technical person like me, but simply sharing this drives the narrative. We want to be able to see on live broadcasts like this, 1 million views. That's what you want to be able to see, and you can contribute to that. It is your responsibility. It is your patriotic duty to be able to share things like this so that we achieve that 20,000 youths equipped with skills that's going to change our country forever. We can't be living in a country where even a wire, a simple resistor, a wire, you have to import. No, we can't be living in a country where even, intelligence equipment is imported. Come on, guys, come on. What's wrong with us? We can't be living in a country where even our army defense force, the military equipment is imported. No, guys. Of course, yes, we may want to import, but other countries, what they do is they modify, right? We need to have our own equipped people here in Zambia. We need to, in this Z-Innovates BootCamp, we want to see military people to come and attend this, acquire electronic skills that they can go and teach in their camps so that they become innovative, The communication between the army, they should be able to create their own communication devices. That's what we're looking at. Those are things that troubles us when we go to sleep. That's what we stand for here. And you can simply contribute by simply sharing. That's it. Making something like this go viral. That's it. You would have contributed. You would have contributed. You don't need to donate money. You don't need probably even to pay for somebody to come and attend this. You may not even need to be involved. But simply coming across something like this, you share. You are guaranteed that you have contributed to what Zambia would be in the next 10, 20, 30 years from now. That's it. That's it. With the kind of skills that I have, personally, I would have left to go and enjoy in these, countries. I would get a very beautiful job, These are readily in-demand skills, okay? And I'm here trying to peddle a narrative in my own country. For those people who are close, with me, they see how many times I'm offered jobs abroad and all that. But I turn all that down, okay? To promote Zambia, because I'm Zambian. This is why you are seeing Z Study. We would have called this thing anything else. We called it Z Study because we wanted it to have an identity of Zambia in it. We wanted to have that identity. So you too can contribute. Imagine a Zambia where we are manufacturing phones and selling them across Africa. Imagine a Zambia where we are making 5-band radios and selling them across SADC. Imagine a Zambia that is known as an electronics hub in Africa. We can do it. We can do it. And it simply starts with skills transfer. It starts here with the Z-Innovates BootCamp, a premium bootcamp to be instructed by top-tier engineers, technical people, software engineers, developers that have built products that are on the market, practical. With books that you have written like this, you are guaranteed that it's not just any other bootcamp. It's a practical bootcamp. It's a premium bootcamp that guarantees that if you attended, you'll come out with skills. Your mindset will be rewired. You'll be a different person. You never say from then that Muzungu ni mukali. Abasungu bakali. Musungu wachave. Musungu wachave. You never say that. You are very familiar with this saying. You never say that. That is inferiority complex. That's what it is. Nothing more. When you see something like this, Musungu wachave. Wachave Musungu. Tewa kuangaya koyo wachave. Musungu ni mukali. You never say that again in your life. You never say it. Your mind will be wired. Now, if we have 20,000 youths who never say Musungu wachave, you are guaranteed. You are guaranteed that we are moving somewhere. 20,000 youths who never believe in impossibilities. Let me tell you a simple story. When I was in university, I was having a conversation with one of lecturers that actually handled me when I was in the university. I was telling them I want to set up a company that manufactures electronic devices in Zambia. He told me the following: there's a reason why we do not have a company like that. That was the response. Okay. Sometimes you just have to set the market, and if there's no one doing it, there's a reason why. I don't believe in impossibilities. Yesterday, I was just having a conversation with my teammates in the office, where we are talking about a particular product we're working on, and we're looking at, building small satellites that you can launch in the Zambian space. That will be carrying very light payload, just to be delivering very little things. We are looking at launching one satellite cost about $10,000, a very small satellite, $10,000. So if you can raise the money to do that, and we'll definitely do it. We'll definitely do it. We do not believe in impossibilities. We don't. And that's where a big change starts from. Never believing that there's anything impossible. Never saying, Umsungu, wachabe. Never saying that. It's a beginning. It is the beginning. Give me an opportunity to transfer skills and this kind of mindset to 20,000 Zambian youth in 3 years. 20,000 in 3 years. Practical youths. If we build a community of 20,000 youths who do not say, Umusungu wachabe, then we are guaranteed of what we are going to have to achieve as a country. When I'll be long gone, when I'll not be here, these are conversations that I need people to have about me. So this is a patriotic move, which each one of you who is watching this need to support. Okay, we are not those kind of youths who ask for money. Say, no, we need financial support. Even if we are going through problems, not that we have a lot of money, we don't. But our mindset are not wired in such a manner. We want to do something for our country. Z-Innovates is the beginning. Z-Innovates BootCamp. It's a flagship brand that we would want to run for the next 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years. Our target is to train 20,000 skills transfer to 20,000 youths. If it requires that we put in money to achieve that, let's do that. We put in money. Let's achieve that. We're starting on the 23rd of August, 23rd of August, 2024. Now, in summary, this is what we are going to cover. Just in summary, this is what we are going to cover, right? So we'll cover, number one, we are going to cover this, building this. I should not be the only one building this. And of course, we shouldn't be the only company that's building this in Zambia. We shouldn't. We shouldn't. I want to have 100 competitors doing this. And you know why that would be beneficial? In marketing, there's what we call customer education. If we have 100 people making this, they would have helped me train the market than myself. Because every time when I say this is what we do, it costs us a lot of money just to tell you what it is. So let's have 100 startups practically doing this. Not just startups that run from one conference to the other, one workshop to the other, no. Practically, that they show to say, this is our flagship products that we have built, this, like that, okay? That's number one. We had packaged a course we are calling Electronics Design Practitioner, level 1, because it will be level 2, level 3, like that. We'll do this in the first cohort, on how to build this. Furthermore, we learn how to design firmware, how to program hardware. How many people on a professional level in Zambia can program a processor to be able to do something professionally? How many? Okay? That's what we want to achieve. Next time when I come and say how many I should have in my head, 20,000 youths can be able to do this. And you know, these are youths that would go out there. They may not start companies, but these are people that will go there in corporate world and be able to contribute heavily. Do you know why in Zambia, even like ZESCO is failing? Is skills, that's it, nothing more. Skills. We do not have people who are quite innovative in there. We don't. We don't. How many engineers in ZESCO can build a transformer? How many? Let's just be honest. It's not that I'm attacking anything. I'm quite an honest person. How many in there they can say, oh yeah, I'm building a transformer. Stop importing transformers. Just provide me with this we can do. We don't. Okay? Even when they look at the energy problems that we're having, have they diversified to say, hey, we will start now doing this in this particular area? And this is not just about ZESCO alone. It's about all the Zambians. So if you wake up and complain, what are you doing about that? What are you doing? Okay? We have people who have got ideas of starting businesses. They don't want to invest in Zambian businesses. Okay? When they see this, these are things that we need to heavily invest in. Let's say, let's take this company public. Okay? Let's take it on Lusaka Stock Exchange. Let's invest in money. Let's bring in experts, business people who know how to run business, who have run business in the past. Let's surround a team of these young people. Let's be able to push this, what we start manufacturing electronics in Zambia. That's not a Zambian mindset. So as you wake up and complain, what is it that you're doing to solve the problem? I'm doing something about it. We are making STEM kits in Zambia. So when the government is propelling STEM education, we are here to supplement them. Hey, here are the STEM kits. Hey, here are the virtual labs. We are contributing. What are you doing about it? That's how it's supposed to be. It should be a collective effort in our different areas of expertise. You are a lawyer. Are you contributing in running workshops so that small startup companies know how to do copyright, how to do patents, how to file patents? Are you doing things like this? So in each and every area of your expertise, we have ways in which we can contribute to the greatness of Zambia, like that. But that's not it. Now, this is where the Z-Innovates BootCamp comes in. Let's change the narrative together. This is not a boot camp just for making money. It's not. It's a boot camp for changing the narrative. It's a boot camp. If you attend, it will definitely rewire your mind. It will give you skills that will make you, in-demand person. In-demand person. Definitely it will. Okay. I always boast with my team to say, hey, if I wanted a job, it would take me less than a week to find one. In a country where people complain there are no jobs, here I can, yes. In a week I can. Because of the skills that I have, I can work as a marketer full-time, proper. I can work as a salesperson full-time, proper, far better than people went to start marketing in school. What does that tell you? Value is on skills. That's what it tells you. Value is on skills, right? Let's contribute to our great nation, Zambia. Let's be patriotic. Let's support that Zambia. It's not just about me. Here is always my line of reasoning and why I heavily support local initiatives. It's because if the guy on the next door becomes a billionaire, I would definitely benefit, because that guy, the road that leads to his house, you'd want to put a tarmac because he has so much money. I will no longer be driving in the dust. I'll benefit. That's how patriotic people think. Okay? That's how patriotic people think. I'll be paying heavy taxes that would take some of even your unborn nieces and all that to the university, because I was trained on the government sponsorship, okay? That I don't even know who contributed that money. As an example, I don't know. And that's the case of most of you, including our president. He was trained on schemes like those. He doesn't even know who contributed that money. That's how patriotic people should be thinking. The country always takes care of its people. It's always it does. It doesn't mean if you have got a person in offices who is making wrong decision that the country is not taking care of you. Immediately just step out of your house. How much money do you have that can guarantee you to build your own road? You don't have. That road that you walk in nicely, the country is taking care of you. So we need to be patriotic such that we are contributing to the local innovations. We are contributing to local initiatives. Initiatives like the ones we are speaking about. Z-Innovates BootCamp, okay? How many people, how many engineers can you bring to say we can build this? And if they can, how many have they built? How many? How many? Okay? How many? Because we have problems in this country. You can't say, no, that's not my line of focus. My line of focus is maintenance. We have problems in this country. That needs a lot of solutions. So if an engineer is able to build something, we are saying, let's do that. But the fact is, they have not, because they do not have the skill sets. Now, what we are saying is, let's build a community. Now, when we are saying we are building a community, we are not simply saying, hey, I'm an engineer, I'm alone. No, we are building a community of makers. Someone is building a TV, he's stuck somewhere, I'm designing, this is where I'm stuck, how can you help? Things like that, okay? A community. Now, we want to start this community here at Z-Study. We want to start that community through the initiative we are calling the Z-Innovates BootCamp. Now, the Z-Innovates started, I think, 2 years ago. We have been doing campaigns on TVs. Some of you have attended you have watched our interviews on DSTVs, on ZNBC, on these public mainstream media. We have been building towards this time. Now we are at a moment where now we are launching the Z-Innovates BootCamp as a way of transferring skills to the youth. It's not just about transferring skills. Even at the moment when we decide to hire someone in Zambia, imagine today we decided to say, hey, we want to hire someone who should be designing electronics, a chief engineer designing electronics. Where are we going to find one in Zambia? Where? It will be difficult. It will be difficult here. Even if we say the salary is 40 pin or 50 pin net, where are we going to find that engineer with so much experience in designing of electronic products and all that in Zambia here? That is a problem. We lack skills in this country. We lack skills. It's not only about scarcity of jobs, it's also scarcity of employees who can do the job right. As Dr. Siatombo said on one of his teachings, 98% companies hire wrong people. We simply settle for something that looks similar, not that they can do the job right in the way we want it to be done. This is why you see multinational companies that have got the capacity to spend, they go and bring expatriates, you know. It's because we train pharmacy in Zambia whose job is to be a shopkeeper, to be selling medicine in a grocery, dubbed pharmacy, like that. Even if that is part of what these guys are supposed to be doing, I find it very, very disturbing. Have you seen the chemistry the pharmacists doing when they're in the university? Very complex. If their role was meant to be dispensing medicine only, they could have just focused on what prescriptions are and all that. But that's not pharmacy was designed to do. These are people who are supposed to be there, engineering the medicine and things like that. That's why they learn those complex chemistries and all that. But after they leave the university, they are simply glorified shopkeepers. That's it. And it's not their problem. It's because there are no skills. Okay? There are no skills. There's no way of acquiring practical skills. There are not even proper places where you can go and learn how to, you know, make medicine and all that in Zambia. Very, very few. And most of those who are doing that have moved around some of pharmaceuticals around the country, you know. So it's not just about this particular problem. It's a general thing. Now, what we are trying to, you know, advocate for or promote is promotion of skills transfer. Let's start valuing skills than that useless degree that you have when you don't even know anything about it. Let's start valuing more of skills. That's how it's supposed to be. Skills, what can you do? Yes, you have got your degree. What can you do with it? It's embarrassing. Someone has got the highest level of a degree graduation. He has the highest. I don't know if it is called, what name it is called, but they can't make anything. It's not supposed to be like that. We need to start solving problems in the society and the communities we are coming from. Let's be practical. Let's be practical. As engineers, I'm an engineer speaking for my colleagues there. Let's be practical. You know, let's have skills. That solves the problem. Let's have skills. That solves the problem. You could say, I will speak about another thing. Right now, we have just concluded the National JETS Fair. That's Junior Engineer, Technician and Scientist Fair. The national. There are two things I can comment on that. Number one, we can see that we have got a lot of young people who are very innovative and they are eager, you know, to make something. They are burning. But that talent is too raw at this particular point, very raw, that it needs people to process it further so that those young minds can realize certain things that they don't know now. If we don't do that, we were all in jets. All of us were in jets. Right now, we know all we know is just to drink. That's it. It's because as we grow up, problems come, we marry, children, what? Eventually, we even forget about things like that. That's one thing I've learned from there. We have a country, a very innovative country. Very innovative. If you go to the JETS, they just ended the JETS Fair, you'd see how innovative. Yes, some of the ideas were too raw. Okay, were too raw. But to me, it tells me to say that we have a very innovative crop of young children and youths in Zambia. Very innovative here. Very. Okay, but where do all those people go? They are relegated to be maintenance people. And because they graduated as an engineer, they are even given a very nice Hilux with the boots and a nice jean and the reflector on top. They even forget everything. They forget everything. All those ideas which were burning in their head when they were jets and all that, all those gone. All they just know how to do is just to maintain a list of places to go and drink from. That's it. And I'm not even saying drinking is bad. I'm just showing you how bad things are. So as we wake up and complain, let's do something about the things you're complaining about. Number two, one thing I can also learn from that Jets fair is the fact that we waste a lot of talent in Zambia. Because if all those people I saw there could be nurtured properly, we could have a great nation. Definitely, we could. We could. But we waste talent in this country. We spend so much time and focusing on very useless things. So those kids will just grow up. When they reach my age, they are married, they have got rental problems, they have got Congoles, you know, and that's it, like that. That's it. And it's sad. And this is where we are trying to create a bit of an opportunity to try and solve a problem in a way by introducing the Z-Innovates BootCamp. A place where a child, like those I saw at the Jets National Fair, would come and learn a skill like this, to be able to build a finished product like that, to be able to build this. And if a child like that is able to do this, because nothing is complicated here. I'm using this example, nothing. I built this in 3 days, 3 days, okay? I sat the chair 3 days and designed this, just 3 days, not more than 3. 3 days I designed this, okay? This, 3 days. So if we can have youths who are able to do this, building products, and sometimes also is the way we also package our product. This is looking very nice, okay? Like that, looking very nice. And what you realize is that this could be distributed. All I would need is a nice box, a bit of other components that would want to go with it, package it, and then I throw it in the shelf and start selling. So if youths can be able to have skills like this and all that, then we are guaranteed that we are moving somewhere. Not theory, no. Not valuing degrees that can't do anything, no. Practical skills. What does someone need to be able to build this? Just knowledge of physics, nothing. Just knowledge of physics. So someone who graduated with physics, they're able to build this. These are just logic gates here. These are logic gates, okay? These are decoders, you know? The processor sits somewhere here, like that, okay? Like that. Those are things that you need to be propelling. So now, in the Z-Innovates BootCamp, that's taking place, or that's debuting on 23rd August, 2024. It's next week. We are starting our first cohort. We want to train 20,000 youths who are able to do things like this, who are able to program, processor. They get a processor, program it, so that it's able to do usable, functional, and sellable stuff. That's what you're saying. That's what we're saying in that bootcamp. Yes, there are many bootcamps around the country where you attend a bootcamp, you learn CSS and HTML. We are saying that we are not saying that's bad. But this is a tier, top tier, premium bootcamp. Z-Innovates BootCamp. We have been preparing for this time for the past 2 years. We started last year, early January 2023. We appeared in a lot of interviews on DSTV, there's ZNBC and all that, just trying to, if you go on our YouTube channel on Z Study, you see a lot of interviews that we did under the Z-Innovates initiative. We were culminating to this point where we are now, the point where now we want to start practical skills transfer. I want to train people that if I want people now to say, hey, I'm tired, I want people to replace me to start, doing the technical stuff at my company, I can simply pick some mutes. It's very difficult right now, I'll tell you this. In a situation where, this is why I don't even call myself CEO. That's one of the reasons, because I know if that gets in my head, I'll stop being an engineer. Eventually, I would want to hire people, but there are no people in Zambia right now. Somebody can even challenge me in the comment here. There are no people in Zambia right now who I can hire to say, I have engineers building this for me here. There are no people in Zambia right now who can do that. They aren't. If they were, knowledge enslaves people, skills enslaves people. That's one thing. That's why they say knowledge is power, because if someone acquires the knowledge, it enslaves them. So if they were, we could have seen products like this mushrooming on the market. And to me, that's my prayer. I want a lot of products on the market. I do not want to be going to the market. I find everything Chinese. But there are a lot of innovators. You hear, no, this one has innovated this one has innovated this one. No. You want to go to the market and find practical things. They're there, oh no, that innovation you had, it is in the store, they are selling. Okay? That's what we want. We have exported this to Malawi. We have exported this to Malawi. And even the previous version of this is the second version, it has a previous version. We have exported that to Malawi. Water handler, we are exporting to the United States of America, like that. Here, from here in Zambia, from here, we're exporting. We are working with our partners there in the USA, building practical electronic products, usable products that are on the market, a market in the USA market. So what should stop Zambia from becoming a technical hub, a technological hub? Can someone tell me why we shouldn't? The problem is you're focused so much on websites. When you hear technology, even policymakers, sometimes they just get excited. Yeah, there's a mobile application that has been designed to be monitoring fish growth. How can a mobile application monitor the growth of fish? How? If I look at the entire tech stack, I'm not finding anywhere where a mobile application sitting on a phone here can monitor the growth. It's hardware that should be able to do that. It's a sensor that should sit in an aquacultural pond somewhere that should be able to monitor. And it's going to monitor the parameters, the variables of, contents of the water. That will be now, that sensor, that hardware will be communicating back to the server and then the mobile application talking back to that. Not an app. No, I've built an app, hey, app this. No, we can't go anywhere like that. There will be no another Facebook. Unless maybe 50 years from now, 100 years from now, a century, maybe we can have something of a mobile application and all that. That is going to replace Facebook. Now in Zambia, the entire innovation is preoccupied with just an app, a website. Some people even, they will come, no, I want you to build me a mobile application that monitors the growth of cows. And when the cows are, giving milk, and I'll be there saying, really? No. An app won't monitor your milk, or an app won't, don't do that. Okay, it's hardware. China is the center of technological production, not because they have got the best software. Now, hardware, skills to build hardware. And China has the power to bring the world to stand still. It has the power. Because if I need a resistor, I want to buy it from China. A resistor is just a wire. I have to buy it from China. Okay? And it was evident during COVID how the world was negotiating. No, please don't close the borders in China, what, and all that stuff. And we have still not learned anything from that. God forbid, if we are under war in this country, how do we survive? How do we survive? How do we survive? We need to be makers. We need to start making things. We need to be practical. Okay? We here, there's a boot camp there, it should be practical knowledge transfer. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay? Now, for us, we have come up with a Z-Innovates initiative, which should be a nationwide movement. We are inviting all of you, if you have got a way you can contribute to this, you are welcome. We are welcome. You are welcome. You can say, no, for me, this is what I want to contribute. I want to be part of this. You're welcome. Pick up the phone, reach us, let's negotiate. We want to build a community, nationwide movement of makers. We want to train 20,000 youths in the next 3-4 years from now. 20,000 youths. 20,000 youths with knowledge that will enslave them. 20,000 youths will be able to build things like this. 20,000 youths who would be able to, provide solutions to the government. So you have built a target. You are going to build all the hardware that is going to go to that target. It's us who are going to provide. The youths who are going to change the narrative. That's what we want. 20,000. And you have a role to play in that. It's not just us. You have a role to play in that. Websites want to do that. Mobile application is not the answer. Physical things that changes. That's the answer. That's the answer. Okay? That's where the answer is. Okay? Yeah. We have discovered the minerals that help us to make batteries in the copper belt there. Can we process that ourselves and start building batteries? Build electronics on top of those batteries, those things you call BMS, battery management systems. We can do that. Okay. Now, on top of that, that's where now we build an application that will be attached to that battery management system, the BMS. Now, from there, now we open businesses, energy as a service, with this advent of electric cars. That's what we need. At the center of that is electronic skills. Skills like these. For you to be able to manipulate stuff, it's electronics. That's where it is. Here. Those are the skills that we want to emphasize on. Those are the skills we want to transfer. Youths who are able to program processors, we design. Then they program the processors. That's what we want. Some of these technologies now are even open source. Nothing is hidden. But in Zambia, we can still do it. And when we build this movement, it's in phases. When we build this movement of 20,000 youths, the next now, a voice of 20,000 youths is going now to put pressure on lawmakers. Now we'll tell them to say, hey, you know what? We can make radios in Zambia. Close the border. ZRA, no importation of radios. We are only going to import 20% of the national demand of radio. And even these 20% are so expensive that you have to be forced to buy. Do you know that in America, if you are buying something that is made in America, you buy it from outside, it's very expensive. We are not going to say you can't buy. You can, it's your choice. But we'll put the pressure. These 20,000 youths that would have trained, we're now going to put the pressure on government. Say, hey, ZRA, we are not longer allowing importation of radios in our country because we can make our own. Actually, we also want to start exporting to Zimbabwe. We want to start exporting to Malawi. We want to start exporting to Botswana. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we want. From here, that's how we're supposed to progress. The beginning is our bootcamp, Z-Innovates BootCamp. That's where we're beginning from. Where is the evidence? This is the evidence. Here. This is the evidence. We can do it. It's here. We did this with no funding. My business has never been funded by any organization. In case some of you think I'm there talking, I'm there posting this, thinking and say like, no, I'm a privileged. I'm just someone coming from a village with a very different mindset from yours. Nothing more than that. My business has never been funded by anybody. We have not been funded by anyone. Up to now, we have not been funded. The only investment we received was through colleagues, okay? And that was just this year. And that investment has not even yet yielded anything. Okay, this year, a 200,000 kwacha investment, it came in this year, 2 months or 2 months ago, I think. Okay, we have not received any funding from anybody. We have not. We have not gotten a loan from anyone. We do not owe anyone for the business in form of a loan or in form of anything. We don't. And also to mention, we have not received any support or any funding from any family member or relative to the business. We have not. This is on Facebook, it's live. People can comment there. You have not done that. Now, how did we manage to build things like this? And these are not the only things that we have built. Okay, I'm just showing this as an example because it's the simplest one. We have built things like water handler, which we are selling even in the USA. Go on Google, type water handler. You see, we've got an app on Play Store, we have an app on Apple Store, we have a device. You know, how did we manage to do that? Mindset and skills, that's it. That's it. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Mindset and skills. Here, we don't say, we don't say that. Because that statement, that particular statement, at the center of it is stupidity to think that you can't amount to anything unless you're umusungu. At the center of that statement, there's stupidity. For some of you who say that, there's a stupidity at the center of that statement, saying you cannot amount to anything. At the center of that statement, there's inferiority complex. You are inferior. Your entire existence is inferiority. That's what it is. That's what it is. Nothing more than that. At the center of that statement, that's what there is. Wachabe mzungu. Wa mzungu wachabe. Mzungu ni mukali. Ah, wewe wanaija ni mukali mzungu. At the center of that, there's inferiority complex. Now we are saying we can change that narrative. We are starting with our bootcamp. It will start small. There will be challenges, but our goal is to train 20,000 youths with practical skills, with the things that we have learned in our failures and in our successes. How can you do this without anything? Okay. In this time and the era we are living in, the only thing you need is internet and the computer, and probably a nice chair. Yeah, and probably a nice chair. That's all you need. That's when, as you are thinking, you can, swing by a bit like that. That's all you need. That's it. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay? Nothing. That's all you need. And you're good to start. About marketing is the most expensive thing. Marketing is very expensive, especially in Africa, where social media doesn't do much. Zambia in particular, where people don't believe anything they see on social media. You probably have to go and speak to them. You can't even properly generate leads on social media properly like that. Especially for us who are in new markets, where we are building things that nobody has done it in the past. Or if they did it, probably they imported from China and they came to assemble it down here. Like that. It's a challenge, very expensive. But the only way is to start small. We have never held any big launch whenever we are launching a product. No, we simply do our market analysis and see that, Samuel Kapansa can buy from us, that one can buy, and then we go to talk to them. And eventually, we become popular, like that. That's how you start when you don't have anything. There's no way I'm going to get a loan from the bank just for a launch of a product that nobody has even ever bought before. I'm not even guaranteed that if they will even like it. No, we just start. Because if I provide a great service to Great North Road Academy, they will also go and tell their other friends who have schools to say like, oh, you're struggling with this, there's this guy. And that's who also tell another one. When they're having their workshop, they also mention to say, no, we did this because of that particular guy. And then Great North Road becomes our ambassador. And then it goes on like that. Eventually now when we make our first 1 million, then now we hold a big launch. Now it's just celebrating our success. That's how you start. Money is not the answer to anything. I have seen in this country, people who have been privileged, they have been sponsored 500,000. They go and rent an office because they don't know how business works. They rent an office where they are paying 10,000 because they have 500 PIN a month. In a year, 120,000 is gone. The product hasn't even been developed. They hire people to build the product. They buy expensive computers, nice furniture in the office. Before the product could even reach halfway development, the money, kwa mana, sharp questions, like that. So money is never an answer. Anything. It's never. Yes, it will allow you to go fast. Yes, it will allow you to do things very fast. It will allow you to be very flexible, to give you a bit of flexibility. You will have less headaches and things like that. But hey, we enjoy headaches. In business, we enjoy headaches. That's it. That's it. We enjoy it. We enjoy headaches in businesses. That's it. That's how it works. We do enjoy headaches. If you are a business person or you intend to run anything, even just running a family, you should be able to enjoy headaches. That's how it is. So let's share this. At the core of this live stream is Z-Innovates BootCamp. That's starting on the 23rd August, 2024. A cohort that will be running once every month. So we'll have one cohort this month, another cohort that month, another cohort that month. We want to train 20,000 youths to be able to do practical things. A youth who should be able to build an app from nothing. They build a web application from nothing. UI, UX to design the user experience. We have got very good designers around here. Very good. Okay, very good. If you look at our Z-Study website, you see it's properly, nicely designed like that. Okay. So those people will share their experiences, their difficulties, and things like that, the do's and the don'ts, and then you go and continue reading on. Us will give you what works, the practical things. You're able to build something like that. So even as you are reading, you have a reference on something that you did that's working. User experience, user interface, designs. We'll teach you that. We'll teach you how to develop mobile applications. We'll teach you how to develop web applications, real ones. Two-tier, third-tier applications. Applications that talks to the server. Applications that talks to the hardware. You build an application. There's a server in between here. There's a hardware this side. The hardware speaks to the server and back. The server is speaking to the app and back and synchronizing all these things together. We'll teach you how to do that. Not only that, we'll teach you Internet of Things. We'll teach you how you can use AI. AI is not just about generating text. You can use AI in your ideas so that it now even becomes more useful like that. How do you integrate AI in some of these ideas that you have like that? Okay. Moving forward, building electronics hardware, which is what I've overemphasized on a lot. Building that electronics hardware, building that, we'll teach you that from nothing. You just will come and then we'll agree to say, okay, what are we going to build? And then we agree this cohort number 1, we are going to build a STEM kit. We'll build a STEM kit from zero. This cohort number 2, we are going to build a simple phone. Okay. If we have money, we can even manufacture a simple phone that everyone who has attended that particular cohort has one. We manufacture one. Simple phone that just send text messages and make phone calls. We're able to do that. Okay. We agree as we are starting our cohort. What are we going to build? From just an idea, we write on the paper, we write on the board, we design it, we manufacture it, and then we say, here it is. Experiencing something like that, it's life-changing. It will change the mindset of the way you look at things. And you never say, you never say that in your life. It will change. So that's what this bootcamp will be about. That's what it will be about. It will run between 3 to 5 years. That's what it will run. We'll keep investing in it, right? Keep investing in it. By the time we'll be reaching year 3, year 2, it will be very beautiful. We'll keep investing in it. keep investing in it slowly like that. We keep investing in it. Yeah, we keep investing in it. And we keep bringing in other people who are interested to say, me, I'm interested. I want to work with you on this particular part. I have been running a training institute, but I think this particular component will be beneficial to our school. We would want to integrate this. You're welcome. So like, no, I'm actually a trainer. I've been running my boot camps, so they haven't been very successful. I think I would want to partner with you. So you're welcome. So no, we want marketing value. We want to sponsor this particular boot camp, and you're welcome. No, we are policy makers. We are the Ministry of Technology and Science. We want to associate ourselves with this boot camp so that it becomes as a blueprint of our policies for skills transfer, technological skills transfer, commercializations of technology. We would want to work with you. You are welcome. And just to mention, this Z-Innovates BootCamp has been also as a result of some of our agreements that we have with government, with the memorandum of understanding that we have with the Ministry of Technology under the National Science and Technology Council, particularly amongst the areas of cooperation in there is promotion of STEM, advocacy of STEM, practical STEM. We have got other colleagues who are promoting STEM advocacy and things. Us, we are saying, okay, so the government is promoting STEM. Here are the tools. Here are the tools. Here are the tools to use. Here are the STEM kits. Go and use them in your training institutes, in NOTEC, in Copperbelt University. Go and use this. Because seriously speaking, these training boards like these are things that students learn 3rd, 4th year, 5th year at Copperbelt University. So it might look simple like this, but the projects that they make there, most of them just revolves around something like this. So that MOU is also promoting this, okay? We have seen them, the government has written letters to some of the TVET institutions to try and promote the use of these things like that. So it's not a small thing, and it's not a quickly rushed stuff. It's something that we have been planning for quite a long time, like that. Z-Innovates. What we want to see in future is that the way the National JETS Fair has finished like that, we can be in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, pick those guys who have won awards, work with them for 1 month, train them. Those ones who are falling under the faculty of the tech transfer skills that we are offering, so that they benefit from this. We want to change the narrative of our country. Okay? I think, guys, I've spoken so much. Thank you for those who came to attend this particular live broadcast. And please share. You can share this on Facebook, on your WhatsApp channels, wherever you are, where you think it's important. Please share. And just to encourage us, leave a comment. Reach out to us. We have our numbers are all over the Facebook, all over internet. When you just search Z-Study, you should be able to see some of our contacts there. Reach out. Let's collaborate. Let's see what we can do together in initiatives like this. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.